Alright guys and girls, this is Bagofsoup coming at you with part 3 of our mid-range series. Part 1 we talked about the most popular setups that I enjoy, the Russian Death Button Griffin and the Carnage Zeus and Tridents. And part 2 we talked about the Leo with Tridents and CRVs, which I've really grown to love, and the Fujin with Tulumbas, which has become actually my favorite mid-range setup now actually. Now I'm going to try to talk you out of using the Natasha and Fury today. No, honestly, you're allowed to run anything you want, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This game should be for fun. There are better setups than others, but you run what you want. I'm just going to tell you that personally, I do not enjoy running the Natasha or the Fury. And the reason I have those two together is because the Natasha is so similar to the Fury that it really works as a cheaper counterpart to it. They have the same speed, same hit points, and very similar armament, but one costs silver and one costs 5,000 gold, so big difference. So anyway, we're going to run Zeus and Gekkos on the Natasha, and then later Zeus is on the Fury, and we're also going to run Tridents on the Fury, and then Tridents and CRVs on the Natasha. So we're going to kind of mix it around. This is actually not a bad setup. I actually like the Natasha with Gekkos and 2 Zeuses better than a Fury with 3 Zeuses, and because the Gekkos just have that longer reach to them. But honestly, above either of those, the Fury or the Natasha, I would prefer to run a Leo instead. And the reason is the Leo has a similar firepower. You're losing about 1 gun out of it. Like in this case, instead of 2 Zeuses and 2 Gekkos, you would run 1 Zeus and 3 Gekkos, but you're gaining a lot more hit points, and you're gaining the speed that the Leo has. I run the Leo all the time with Zeus and Gekkos or with Tridents and CRVs and do quite well with it, whereas I just don't have the same kind of luck with the Natasha. It's just slow and hard to get out of the way, and it's a big target. As you saw just there, we got nailed by this guy. Hopefully he'll take his gaze off of us and look at that Griffin there while we finish targeting. But this is not a bad setup. I really do like, if you're going to run a setup on the Natasha, I like the Zeus Gekkos more than anything, and then probably next would be the Tridents and CRVs. So I think this setup is actually better than the Fury Zeus, or at least equal, whereas if you do the Tridents, oh, this guy's going to nail us. Let's not let him see us. Well, he'll probably see us anyway. But I just painted a big target on my back by using the Gekkos on him. Anyway, I think that the Fury Tridents is much better than the Natasha Tridents and CRVs because you're losing some range out of the deal. But in this case, you're actually, with the Zeus and Gekkos, you're actually gaining some range. So it's just a little different there. So this is not a bad setup, but I would prefer to run 1 Zeus and 3 Gekkos on the Leo and call it a day. 35 speed versus 30. And 200,000 hit points at level 10 instead of 140,000 hit points at level 10 for the Natasha. So you can kind of see the difference here. We're doing well, and the reason we're doing pretty well is just because we happen to be on a big open map. If we're on Power Plant or Dead City, we would be so slow to get around anywhere that would cause an issue, whereas the Leo could definitely keep up with other bots and hide and evade and get to safety when needed. So just keep that in mind. We didn't cherry pick it. We just got handed this great map, and makes it a lot easier for this one battle. But a lot of maps, the Natasha and Fury are just going to be destroyed because they're just not fast enough and they don't have shields. So, but we'll use the blessing of this map as best we can. We do need to grab beacons. I think our team right now has none, so that's an issue. Let's see, there's that Butch. I think we can nail him with our Zeuses and our Gekkos and just take a huge chunk out of him. And I know he's going to nail us, but we nailed him first. Okay, so we'll just do this to him, just to pester him. Matter of fact, I'm kind of just wanting to do this. He's kind of coming into our Zeus range, so we'll nail him like this. And because he's shot, we'll do that and then duck back. Duck, 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 goose! Oh man, I think he's got Tridents now. Nice! That was actually a great move by that guy. So I give him credit. Let's dump this bot just for the heck of it. We're pretty wounded. And jump into our Fury Tridents now. Just be warned, I have 2 level 10 tridents, and the third one is just level 5. And I'm not saying that the Fury is bad when I try to talk people out of it. You may love it, and you may be good at it. I'm just going to admit I'm not good with the Fury. I don't like the speed and the lack of shield on him, whether it's this version of the Trident Fury or Natasha. Some players are great with it. I'm sure I can get better with it. But man, I'd be susceptible to hydras and all sorts of other bots. Let's kill off that Butch finally. Even with our level 5 Trident in the middle here, I think we can nail him here. And just have some fun. So like I said, he's not bad, but if I had 5,000 gold, I would spend it elsewhere and get a Natasha if I had to. See how susceptible we're going to be to this guy? You have to position yourself so carefully. He just has to wait for us to shoot around the corner here. And we're almost able to take him out, but we had a lot of help too, so keep that in mind. Let's see if we can finish off that Butch. He may be waiting to target us. There's a delay when we shoot, so we have to start shooting early. I think he had tridents also here. Almost got him. I think we hit the wall more than we hit him. So anyway, this guy, like I said, if I was going to run something, I would run a Carnage Tridents in a heartbeat. It's faster, it has the Ansel shield, and it's got 1 less gun to it. Whereas the or even the Leo with 1 Trident and 3 CRVs. You're losing a lot of range, but you're gaining a lot of hit points and a lot of speed. I can knife fight around corners with my Leo because it's pretty maneuverable, but I can't do anything if anyone gets in my range. You just have to learn how to play this bot so carefully. And I'll just be the first to admit that I'm not great at it. So I just shot into this guy's Ansel shield to help that Orkin guy out and lost my bot pretty much in the process. I love how I still have my level 10 tridents on there for the moment. Let's see if we can... Oh, he's gone. And we just lost our shot here. So once again, those bots are just, to me, they're boring to run. They're slow and they're unshielded. In Shenzhen, we'd be nailed by hydras all day long. In other maps, we just couldn't get around to get beacons if we needed to, or to evade other targets. Now the Doc is a little bonus here. I've been having some great luck with him. I think the RDB Griffin with the jump and the about 3 Tulumbas worth of firepower. The Fujin Tulumbas with the 3 Tulumbas and the Ansel shield is great. And then this guy, it doesn't have the jump or the shield, but he's got 4 Tulumbas. So he's got the extra firepower. So we are able to knock that guy's shield down to help our buddies and hopefully finish him off here. So he's got a great firepower. So he's expensive, but if you happen to have a Doc, let's see what happens when we hit this Rhino here. We're not fully loaded up, but we've got some in that, plus some there. So even with that, we're able to take. And we don't have our Tulumbases all leveled up yet either. Oh, look at that! I think that is a Natasha Trident. But luckily, we had the speed to evade some of that, which he doesn't. So we're able to shoot a bunch of shots into him and pretty much take him out. Even though we were already damaged. So let's just finish him off here. Or let him finish us off, either which way. Yeah, it's funny, there was a Natasha Tridents with CRVs out there. What a close match we got going here. I'm going to go to the city to help out my boys, and hopefully see if we can recapture 1 more beacon and hold them off. If we can get our home beacon back, we can take this just by killing these two guys. So we'll work on that, and there's the beacon. But we're down bots hugely, so it's 4 to 5 or 4 to 6. So we're gonna see how we do here. If I can help our boy, we have a good chance. Oh, it's a Fury. Once again, he's so slow and unshielded that he's gonna have trouble getting away from us, and that's the issue. A Carnage can get away and target somebody else. A Fury cannot, and so a Natasha either. So I would go with a Fury, a Carnage with the speed and shield, a Fujin with the shield and extra firepower, and be a lot happier. But if you're not sure if you want a Fury, I would honestly tell you, get a level 6 Natasha, level it up a little bit if you want to, put the equivalent firepower on him, and test it out and just see. You'll see how it moves, you'll see its hit points, and you'll know if you like it. But once again, run what you enjoy and what makes you happy there. Didn't help out on beacons for the team. There's Misty's Hub. We've run into Misty's before. Great player. Anyway, we did pretty good there in just the Natasha, the Fury, and the Doc, and really didn't do anything with the Lancelot at the end. Alright, well, we are dropping into Yamantau, and this is still part 3 of our mid-range support series. And as you can tell, I have switched the weapons on the Fury and Natasha. Now I've got the Zeuses on the Fury and the Tridents on the Natasha. This is a really good setup for the Natasha, or the Fury rather. Really great. Of course, you could have the Gekkos on the Natasha version, which I would probably do. But if you're going to run a Fury, this is very powerful. Just a warning, I've got one level 5 Zeus in the middle of this thing that I won from the anniversary event chests in April. So I've got 2 level 10s and 1 level 5 in the middle. So not super powerful, but still does good damage. I've also got Texas Rebel with me somewhere around here. We'll find him. He's over there on the left. One of my Robot Reaper clan buddies. So we're going to go in together, and we'll try and see how we do in our Fury Zeus. Once again, there's probably no reason I would ever run this bot. I would rather run the Leo with 1 Zeus and 3 Gekkos, or the Natasha with 2 and 2 Gekkos just for the extra range. But this is very powerful. It's a great setup. It's good for jumping, hitting jumping bots, fast moving bots as well. Like there's a jumper right there that we can nail. What is neat though is if you run into like an Lancelot, this thing does so much damage so quick that you can actually break through the Lancelot's shield if you get enough running room to stay back from him and be able to still take him out. So there is some neat benefits to this setup, but you are having to pay 5,000 gold for the robot, so keep that in mind. We're trying to stay back at 500 range from any of these jumping griffins, so we can use our extra 600 range with the Zeuses to take him out, which is preferable here. And let's see who else we can target. We got a guy up here. We try to avoid shield bots unless they're turned to the side or they drop their shield. That helps. We got a good team. There's Rebel up there and his Galahad holding them off. So we've got some helpers. And at least the Zeuses also will hit through Ansel shields. So you can hit Fujins and Carnages. Carnages are everywhere, so that's definitely a benefit. Because if you're running Tridents, those you will get taken out quick. Now that guy's going to hit us, so we got to be real careful because he has to stop to put his shield up, of course. So as long as he's moving, we can still target him. So we'll just be real careful in working on him while he works on our teammate. So that Raiden's pretty powerful against energy weapons. So let's stay back right here and work on some of these griffins and guys that we know we can hit. I did go into the 500 range for a moment, so I got to be careful. But we've also got that Raiden trying to hit us. Now he missed us, so let's use the opportunity to nail him and then get back to the griffin here that's nailing us. Yeah, we're in 500 range, so it's kind of deadly. But we've got 2 guys to deal with, 1 on each side here. So I'm running. But once again, the Carnage would have the Ansel shield and the speed. And the Fujin would have the Ansel shield. And the Doc would have speed, and the Leo would have the better speed and hit points. So I cannot even think of a reason why I would run a Fury when at least I could try a cheap Natasha, see if I like it first, or pick a Leo or something else, or RDB Griffin or something else that's more effective on more maps. So once again, I know there's guys out there that can use these bots pretty good. And we did decent. We got some good damage in with ours, but I'm using it to show it off, not because I want to. I feel like the bot's a liability in my hangar right now, as a matter of fact, on a lot of maps. This map's not too bad. So now we've got the Natasha in with the Tridents and CRV pins. And once again, this is pretty good. I think the Fury's better because of the 3rd Trident, the extra range on it. But this is a lot cheaper to run. The pins at least have the auto reload, which is nice. So see, here's a Griffin that would normally be killing us at 500. So our pins can't hit them, but our Tridents can. So that's at least one benefit while we're waiting to take him out, is we can wear him down with the same firepower that a Carnage would have. So And once again, here's a Lancelot that we can do the same thing. Launch our tridents up there. Then he gets in range. And then we fire off our pins. So this definitely has potential. But once again, I would just take a Leo or a Carnage and call it a day. Now, we don't want to get out of... gotta stay back from 500 range because that guy has the same pins we do. Or Tulumbas. But our tridents will do the trick here. So let's wait for tridents and take him out from safety. So like I said, we're doing good, but just because we got a good map and we've got a good team behind us here. But hopefully you're getting a good look at these two bots. I'm not trying to talk you out of them, but yes I am. But no, you run what you enjoy. You got to have fun. That's a huge part of the game here. This guy so wants to get us here. He's going to try to nail us from 500. So we're going to use our 600 range tridents to nail him here. And try to keep him back. There is a Galahad coming into center that we can help take out. So we got that, and here is that Griffin. So let's see if we can nail him back in response for what he did to us here. But he's got some good speed and good jump, so something to be thinking about here. Well, they're giving us quite a good match here. We'll back off a little bit before we die. So that was a pretty good look. We lasted 6 minutes, and those two bots did pretty good. This has been fun. I'm not saying it's going to do super great right now, but I've really enjoyed the Doc Tulumbas. Great firepower with 4 Tulumbas, biggest firepower of any of these guys. But he doesn't have the range of the tridents, and he doesn't have the jump or the shield. He does have good speed, but you have to be wary of these things. But man, if each of these at level 11 can do 20,000 damage, 4 of these babies can do 80k damage pretty quick. I wonder if we can get in range of this lance and show off the Doc's capabilities here, and then you switch out for your next set of weapons. And look, we are decimating that Lancelot. Let's try and get him before he gets to center here to take that beacon back. We're sliding and killing, sliding and killing. And then right when we are ready with auto reload, it's real helpful too now. That's a big deal. We can nail some guys and then right away be able to switch weapons when we need to back to the others. So we're going to nail this guy, switch back, and nail it again. So you can see this guy is doing huge damage. The Fujin has 3 Tulumbas worth of firepower. The Griffin, RDB Griffin, has 3 worth of firepower, and the Doc has 4. So you can see how good this guy is. So this was my surprise bot this last week or so, was this and the Fujin. I really love the Fujin shield a ton. I'm using that over the RDB Griffin now. So ever since I tested it out again with that new auto reload and the splash damage everywhere, it's been really good. So here comes another poor Lancelot coming our way that wants to meet his maker. So we'll let him get in range. We lost a few shots there on him. But like I said, we've got major firepower. So if you have the influence points or you won one of these guys in one of the chests, definitely give it a run with 4 Orkans or 4 Tulumbas. Watch this switch around here. This is definitely an awesome bot to run. You just gotta watch out for the RDB Griffins and the Carnage Tridents would probably be the biggest enemy of this guy, is the Carnage Tridents. Lancelot is still tough to kill also. So let's let this guy get a little closer in. Use our auto reload. And start to work on taking him out. Stay out of his range. We got 50 speed too, 51 speed, which is huge. Let's get up here to some safety. We're holding pretty good. It's a close match, and one of the issues with mid-range splashes, we are not helping with beacons at all. I mean, we're taking out guys, but it definitely could be better help for beacons. So let's back off a little bit here. Luckily, all these guys do not have Ansel shields on them, so that guy does. Great. Okay, then we'll have to make a run for their beacon if they're running this way. I might be able to take this guy out since he's separated from his brother there. I'm going to try to risk taking him out and then back off, but we need beacons more than I need to live, so I'm going to dump this bot right now. and get into a Ancelot killer. We have 30 seconds. I don't think we're going to win, but the point of this match, sadly, was not to win, but to show off the Fury, the Natasha, and the Doc. And I think we did that really, really well. So we're going to just do one final kill here if we can. I don't know. My jump doesn't come up very quick here. So I think that was it. But I hope you got a good look at the mid-range specials there. And we ran a good match on these guys. Whee! Alright, so let's take a look at what we were running. And we did pretty well there. Like I said, we had one guy really do some big stuff. Our deal was we only tried 3 mid-range bots. And so we didn't get a chance to go for beacons. Anyway, I'm going to jump out of our squad for a moment. And we'll just take one last look at what we're running. We got the Doc Tulumbas. That was a great surprise once again. And so if you get a chance and already own one, this is definitely a great setup to have, because the Tulumbas all cost silver. And of course we had the Natasha. If you're on the fence about a Fury and wondering if it's too slow or unshielded, grab this guy. The skin is cheap. It's really cool. You can put the Zeus and Gekkos. You can put Zeus and Spirals. You can put Tridents and CRVs, all sorts of things. It's got the same speed here, as you can tell, in hit points as the Fury, so you might as well test it out first. The big difference is having 3 Tridents on the Fury is better than 2 Tridents on the Natasha. But on here, I'd actually like the Zeus and Gekkos better than the 3 Zeus. That's a tough call. Of course, and you got the skins that you can run on the Fury. But anyway, that's our look at the Fury Natasha and the bonus of the Doc. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about those setups, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you really enjoy the Fury Natasha. We did pretty well with them there, so no complaints. I just think they're real slow and unshielded and not suitable for a lot of maps. But maybe you love them and you're really great. Once again, let me know in the section below as well. Other people need to hear that. But I would stick with some other options that we looked at in part 1 and 2. Anyway, that's it. This is Bagofsoup. If you're not a subscriber yet, please join us on the channel. We got a lot of fun things coming up. And I hope you have a great War Robots day.